what you'll see here in this beautiful bowl, I don't know if I could want to tip it. So this is all like grass-fed, grass-finished, liver, trachea, heart, spleen, kidney, and then some ground beef in there. So I've had numerous people express their interest in what I feed my girls, Heidi and Pepa. So I thought I'd make a video on this, kind of explaining what their diet looks like. But I also thought now would be a great time because right now we have a special guest. Come here. And her name is Lola. And I am fostering her right now until I find her a home. And so she's going to be a little bit different of a case, we'll call it, compared to Heidi and Pepa. And the reason being is because when she was dropped off, I could tell that she was suffering from some neuroinflammation. And the signs of that are, the simple way I can explain it is walking like a newborn giraffe. And so, which I understand in terms of a puppy's sake. I thought she was going to knock the camera over. In terms of a puppy's sake, but over the past couple of days, you can actually see she now has a more elegant stride and is, not running into walls so much and all that kind of stuff. So how I kind of manage that, tackle that, however you want to look at it, is what I got here is you'll see a bunch of powders in there. Kind of hard to show you, but a bunch of powders in there. And so for Lola's, what consists of hers is I do like this joint formula. One, she is a German Shepherd, but also in terms of my girls, they go for runs, lots, throwing tennis ball. Peppa is like constantly running after other dogs and stuff. It never hurts to have a joint formula. This one I, have found to be the best. And then the other powders are in here. So now because she's in a new home, I mean, she has taken to me very, very well. She's an absolutely amazing dog. She's very beautiful. She's very smart. But she's very, very timid. So in order to help her calm down as well as decrease the neuroinflammation, she will be having magnesium with taurine and theanine and GABA. And so that's going to help lower cortisol levels and decrease that neuroinflammation. And then the girls as well, they get, magnesium and taurine as well. But those that know my girls know they're pretty calm as is, so they don't really need any other calming stuff. But they obviously get the joint formula. And I also use an omega-3, 6, and 9. So you may ask, okay, well, why a 3, 6, and 9? Why not just omega-3s? When you are like newborns, puppies, babies, adults, or not adults, obviously babies, like humans too, the immune system needs to develop. So omega-6 is important. Like you need that pro-inflammatory aspect for that immune system to learn, right? So if you're pounding back a bunch of omega-3s during the developing stage of an immune system, you can kind of create issues. You can disrupt that signaling because, we all are demonizing omega-6. And so it's like omega-3. And so everybody, including humans, is just pumping in omega-3s. And there's a lot of new research showing that people are skewing their ratios now and they're actually too much omega-3. It's because you think, anti-inflammatory, brain development stuff. Remember, it's too much of a good thing, right? So in the earlier stages of their life, I'll use the 3, 6, and 9 complex to help with that immune support, with that immune signaling, with that development. And then as they get older, I think Heidi's reaching close to the stage where she's going to probably go just omega-3s, but Pepa will continue with this for a little bit longer once I feel confident that the immune system is developed. And then I'll switch over to omega-3s. But I like this one. This one's a really good brand. It's, I always say the Grizzly one, so Grizzly Salmon Plus. And this is the one that I use consistently, whether it is the 3, 6, and 9, or whether it's just the omega-3s. So that's kind of the supplemental aspect of their diet in terms, because I think, my goal is to have them live the healthiest, longest life possible because they are my everything. And so I will do whatever it takes to make that possible. And you may ask, okay, well, how do you know this works? So on and so forth. Those know me. I do a ton of research. I'll use the words cross-reference a lot from human beings to dogs. And some people may really push back on that. But we make this like dopamine, serotonin, like they make neurotransmitters, cortisol, insulin, like a lot of the mechanisms are the same. What is different though is obviously the digestive system. They are not heavily set up for fiber compared to a human, or let alone compared to a gorilla. Like the digestive system is completely swapped. And so what you'll see here in this beautiful bowl, I don't know if I could want to tip it. So this is all like grass-fed, grass-finished, liver, trachea, heart, spleen, kidney, and then some ground beef in there. And so once again, too, we all know, like we call organs nature's multivitamin and stuff. So this is why I don't supplement like multivitamin and whatnot, because they're going to get a lot from this food. But what I did forget to mention for another supplement for Lola is HCl, so stomach acid. Very small amount, because yes, dogs produce like a pH of 1. But you know that transition period when like you're taking them from one food to another, and people say like you got to like slowly bring it in to not cause digestive distress and diarrhea and all that kind of stuff. That's because the digestive system needs to adjust by increasing more hydrochloric acid for the higher protein consumption and possible other nutrients. So how I kind of bypass that is I use HCl. And then once again, you can be like, how does this work? Or how do you know this works? I look at a lot of dog poop, okay? Yeah, I'm that crazy weirdo, but like I said, they mean the world to me. So I'm going to make sure that they're having good bowel movements. And so when you take Lola, for example, not only have we seen her neural inflammation decrease, walking better, moving better, not running into walls and such, but her bowel movements are like now firm and like very healthy looking. And so I use HCl with pepsin, which also helps with the pancreatic production of digestive enzymes. And so that's the other, but I don't use that for Heidi and Pepa because they're kind of past that stage. They don't need that. And so like, remember, I am not a vet, I am not a doctor, whatever. So always consult a professional. But one way, like if you're going to take that route, once again, don't do it just blindly. But if you're using HCl, how I check to make sure that I'm not using too much or whatever is I feel the stomach a lot. Like I look for excess bloating and all that kind of stuff. But also a really big indicator if you're using too much HCl is if they're licking their butt a lot. And yes, I understand dogs lick their butts, but if it's too much HCl, it's going to burn. Okay. It happens to people too. Trust me on that. So, if you find them licking their butt a lot, okay, maybe pull back the HCl. They probably don't need it. So she's only going to be on HCl for another day or two because she's already having great bowel movements. Now, if I see a bad bowel movement, I will bring that HCl back in. So that way we can help with that digestion and whatnot. I'm not a big fan of like digestive complexes and such because they usually come with probiotics, which could, yes, very well benefit your dog. But like Pepa, for example, if Pepa takes a probiotic formula, she gets more eye boogers, which is a sign of an overgrowth of bacteria. And this is another reason why, other than the digestive system not being set up heavily for fiber, it's another reason why I don't use a ton of fiber. So this is meal 1, and then meal 2 is a lower fat, like complete meal that I get from Tailblazers, which is duck, salmon, I think beef is in there, venison maybe, bison. I can't remember. It's like a big mixture or whatever. No chicken though. I think chicken's a horrible protein source. Not horrible. Things are worse, but you know where I'm going with this. But it also has vegetables and stuff and berries and whatnot in there. And then that's where they get their fiber. And I like half and half because for Pepa, for example, she gets no eye boogers when you do that. It's like when I have that other meal rather than doing just the straight organ meats. So a little bit of fiber is benefiting her and her bowel movements as well as Heidi. Heidi's always had like an iron stomach though and really no issues and whatnot. And right now, Lola's symptoms are great. Like she's not showing any eye boogers. She's not having any bad breath. She's not having diarrhea. She's just ever so anxiously waiting for this food. So I'll hurry up and finish this up. But yeah, so I'll give Lola because she needs more food. She's a little undernourished. She needs to put on some weight. I will give her about 9.5 ounces. Usually more because I let her look at the bowls out and everything. Pepa will get 9 ounces because she's still growing. Heidi though is being called fat a lot of lately, and it breaks my freaking heart. She's not fat. She's big boned. She only gets 8 ounces, and we are now doing HIIT cardio in the form of throwing a tennis ball. Because yeah, she has been made fun of a lot lately. I think it's because she's got a tiny head and a big body, but she's fat. And she literally is big bone. Okay. Anyways, so that is kind of like the formulas or like the supplements that I use. And I feed them twice a day. If anybody has different input on that, that is one area that I'm always like, should they be eating 3 times a day? Should I be spacing the meals out more, kind of thing? That's something I need to do a little more research on. But obviously, if Heidi's getting fat, I think twice a day is fine. And so, but yeah, these, like, I get this from Pisces here in Calgary. I'm sure you can order it online. Once again, do all your research though. This is from, I'll get this from Tailblazers. I like to support Tailblazers, but unfortunately they don't have this mix. And then this meat is from my butcher, Cohen. He, in Crossroads Farmers Markets, Regina Meats is his place. Even for yourself, for humans, he's got the best beef out there. Those that know me know I had a history of a very sensitive stomach, and his beef was the only beef that didn't bother me. Even when you go to like community health foods or whatever, and you pay $14 a pound, that beef would bother me. His is the only beef that doesn't bother me. So I very much trust him. And that's the stuff I use here. But yeah, other than that, I think a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy, but I'll say it again. These girls are my world and I want the best for them. So I will feed them the absolute best that I can find, and that research is showing. I've also consulted with a lot of like holistic, like shall we say holistic practitioners or holistic vets in the States and everything. I've had conversations with them to see, okay, like what do you think is best as well? And we're all like on the same page, like, okay, yeah, this is a great formula. But as mentioned too, those that know my girls, they're very well behaved, good obedience. Lola has seen massive improvements, but also in the history I've experienced 3 major wounds with animals. And I have people that can attest to expedited wound healing to the point where like even the vet was flabbergasted with one of them. And that's at like when an injury occurs, whether it's a wound or something, I will use things like R-alpha lipoic acid and ubiquinol to really improve mitochondrial function and expedite that healing. I also have a red light therapy lamp that I will put the girls in the kennel, and they will have the red light shot on them. And so, yeah, so like biohacking with my dogs, right? Just trying to have the best life for them, so they can feel their best and live their longest, because yeah, like they need to break that Guinness World Book of Records for the oldest dog. So anyways, if you have any questions on that, shoot me in the DMs. But as mentioned, I'm not a vet. You guys can go ahead and have your inputs. I just know that this has worked for my girls, and this is obviously working very well for Lola here. But I'm open to a conversation with anyone who feels otherwise, or something may needed to be added, or something like that. Okay. But if you guys like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram at that.coach.curtis.